Hello everyone. In this video I want to look at breaking down an imaginary number I raised to a very large power, such as I to the 23rd. To do these kinds of problems, we want to remember that for our higher powers of I, beyond I to the first, its basic definition, we have I squared is equivalent to -1, I to the third is equivalent to a minus I, and I to the fourth is equivalent to a positive 1. And this is the one we really want to focus on. Because of that, I'm going to say my power of 23. How many times is 4 divided into 23? It goes into it 5 times. So 4 times 5 gives me 20. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split this now into I to the 20th and I to the 3rd. Now the reason I want to do this, and recall I get this because if I multiply these out, 20 plus 3 would give me 23. The reason I want to do this is I'm going to again use this rule, and I'm going to rewrite I to the 20th by saying I to the 4th raised to the 5th. By substitution, since I to the 4th is 1, this becomes 1 to the 5th power. But we know what 1 to the 5th is, it's just going to be 1. In the meantime, I still have my I to the 3rd being multiplied, so I'm left with I to the 3rd as my reduced term. Now the point of all of these is to get a value or power, I should say, of I less than 4, or I should say equal to 4 or less than 4. In other words, you want to have as a solution to a problem like this I to the 2nd, I to the 3rd, or I to the 4th. Those are your 4 possible solutions. You want to get to one of those. And as I showed, we want to use I to the 4th to break it down. And the nice thing about using I to the 4th is, essentially, if you look back at what I did, once we've made this split from I to the 20th and I to the 3rd, this is essentially our answer. Once you make that split, you've got your answer. It's I to the 3rd. It's whatever that is. Because since we use I to the 4th, or since we use 4 to break this apart, this term here, this one on the left, will always reduce to 1. That's the idea. Make it simple. Let's look at this one, for example. I to the 58th, I say, how many times is 4 going to 58? And that's going to be 14 times. Which is 56. So, I'll break this into I to the 56th and I to the 2nd, with 2 being the remainder. So just to recall, I choose 4, and since 4 times 14 is 56, it's as close as I can get. That's why we have this split. Now, like before, since this is I to the 4th, let me make that look like a 4. Raised to the 14th, doesn't matter, because this is saying 1 to the 14th, this is always going to be 1. Times my I squared, which means my answer is I squared, or I'll make this a -1. And as I said in the previous question, once you made that split, that is basically your answer. And looking at my previous one, I said I to the 3rd. Some may simplify that to minus I, if you so desire. That may be up to your instructor. But again, the basic idea is divide that exponent by 4. The remainder here is going to be your answer.